Today I'm going to guide you through a sweet yin yoga practice. You can just begin coming to a comfortable seated position on the middle of your mat, relaxing your head, your shoulders, release any tension out of your neck, and just begin to find stillness here, resting your hands on your knees, palms facing up to receive or down to ground, and just begin breathing deeply here. Really letting go of everything that has happened up until this point today. Just become very present. Take the deepest breath you've taken so far today or this week. Begin to deepen your breath. Just arriving on your mat. Observing your thoughts come and go like clouds on a blue sky, not getting too attached or involved with them. Just let them be there, observe them, take a step back. So in yin yoga, we'll be holding the poses for a few minutes, which allows us to go much deeper into the connective tissue, the fascia, rather than just stretching the muscles. And the fascia, they say, store all our emotions, experiences, thoughts and feelings. So have grace with yourself if it gets intense. It's really beneficial for your body to tap into the fascia. They say that the fascia dries up as we get older, so whilst we stretch it, we're bringing more juiciness and circulation into the body, keeping us young and fresh. You can inhale your hands up towards the sky and exhale into prayer's position in front of your heart. Just feeling gratitude for this moment, for this practice, for this life, placing your hands on your heart and just tapping into your heart space, feeling your heart beat. And letting your hands fall down onto your lap, onto your knees. And we're going to begin making our way into our first position today, which is our butterfly. So you can begin in an upright position, extending the spine, flapping the knees up and down, and then finding stillness, soles of the feet pushing against each other. And then begin walking your hands down behind you, lowering yourself down, spine towards the mat. Placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach, and just surrender here, relaxing the entire body. There's nowhere you need to go, there's nowhere you need to be, but here and now. Yin Yoga teaches us that there is strength in surrender, wisdom in patience, and grace and stillness. So you can have that in mind as you navigate through this practice today. Maybe as you become very still, it opens up the possibility to tap into your inner world. When we stop taking in external stimulation, we can tend to our inner garden. Feel that you're held here by the earth beneath you, as well as your own embrace. Your hands resting on your body, nurturing, nourishing, keeping you safe. In my own experience, sometimes we forget that rest is productive too. It's a source of stillness, inspiration, being empty so that we can fill ourselves up again. Going to the depth of our own consciousness in order to come out with more clarity and ease. If your mind is wandering, just come back to your breathing. You can breathe into your belly, chest, rib cage, lungs. Then breathe out the same way, lungs, rib cage, chest, belly. Letting this intentional breathing keep your mind still. And then you can bring your hands to your thighs and use your hands to close your knees together, bringing your feet about mat width apart, and then letting your knees just fall in, kissing each other in the center of your mat. This is a way of releasing our lower back and spine, just neutralizing. It should feel very good. From here you can windshield wipe your knees from side to side a couple of times. And then get ready to extend your legs out and roll over towards your stomach. We're going to come into our Sphinx. So placing your shoulders over your elbows, bringing the shoulders back away from your neck, and then letting your shoulder blades slide down your back, lifting up your breastbones and chest, gazing forward or slightly up, engaging the core, the spine, but keeping the lower body relaxed here. You should feel a slight compression in your lower back. If it's too intense, you can always walk your hands forward. And just stay here and breathe. If you like, you can push into the palms of your hands and come up into your seal. This will increase the compression in your lower back, so really feel if this is available to you. Otherwise, you can come down, relaxing your right cheek onto the floor, gazing towards the left, maybe moving your hips from side to side, maybe just swaying your feet towards your glutes, maybe side to side, changing and placing your left cheek into your hands. And from here we're going to come into our open or broken wing, so extending your left arm out at a 90-degree angle, and then bringing your right foot behind your left thigh, pushing into your right hand, and you should feel quite an intense stretch in your shoulder. I read a quote about yin yoga that I thought I'd share. Yin yoga is an art of relaxation and surrender. It's where we embrace our inner stillness and find the beauty in the pause. Before, I hated yin yoga. It was way too slow, even yoga in general, but now I just find it so rich and beautiful, so nourishing and deep and spacious. Your mind might have resistance to it, but if you just embrace it, it's such a beautiful tool. Coming back to center, extending our right hand towards the right, 90-degree angle, bringing our left leg over our right. If it's too much to keep your leg bent, you can also just have both legs extended. Really feel how you're melting into the floor. See if you can invite more softness and relaxation into your shoulder blades and your trapezius. Feel how all energy that you are made up of is drawn back to you. There's no energy out in the world. You're just calling it all back into your body. All parts of yourself are here and now. Don't forget to breathe deeply. And then begin rolling back towards center. Just placing your left cheek over your hands, gazing towards the right. And then making your way up onto all fours. Just doing some cat-cows here, inhaling to open up your chest and exhaling to contract the spine, gaze towards the navel. Inhale to open, exhale to contract into cat. And then just sway your hips around, circle your spine in any way that feels good to you. Move intuitively, fluidly. And then bring your knees mat-width apart and sit back into a wide-legged child's pose. You can bring your chin or forehead to the floor. Engage your arms and lengthen them forwards. Palms grounded in the mat. You can keep your fingers active and wide. Just letting your hips fall onto your heels. And letting go here. The only thing that is moving is the body parts associated with your breath. If it gets too intense to keep your knees mat-width apart, you can bring them closer together and sit back into a more normal variation of a child's pose. In yin, we want to find our edge, but we never want to experience pain. We can be in discomfort and explore our limits, but as soon as something feels off, we need to listen to that. And I guess that goes for everything. That's the thing with yoga. It's not about what you do on the mat, essentially. It's what you learn on the mat and then you apply it in your life. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Enjoy the last moments of your child's pose. And find an inhale to come back onto all fours, neutralize the spine. Maybe just make some circles with your shoulders or your spine. And then tuck your toes behind you and come into your downward facing dog. Taking it for a walk, pedaling the feet, just feeling into your downward facing dog. It could be awkward. Maybe you want to stretch your ankles. Maybe you want to bend into your knees. Bending and extending. And then inhaling your right leg up and exhaling it on the outside of your right hand, lowering your left knee down and coming into your lizard. So you can place your right hand on your right knee and arch the right foot, coming onto the bow of the right foot. And just push into the knee slightly with your hand, feeling what that does in your hip. And then you can place both palms of your hands on the floor. Just stay there for a moment. This is an intense one, so go gracefully. Then you can begin walking your hands over towards the left side, doing a bit of a twisted variation here. Coming back to center. Maybe you remain upright, palms towards the mat, or you can explore coming down onto your forearms into a gecko. You want to keep your forearms at a 90-degree angle of your shoulder. And then you can come out of the posture, tucking your left leg, extending your right leg into a three-legged dog and give it a shake. And then release it back down towards the mat. Do what you want to do here, maybe paddle the feet. And then inhale the left leg up towards the sky and exhale to place it on the outside of your left hand, lowering your right knee down towards the mat, untucking your toe, using your left hand to open up the left knee. Maybe stay here or place both hands into the mat. Feel the sensations. I'm sure you are. Then walking your hands over towards the right side of the mat. You don't need to walk so far if it's intense already. It's more of an exploration. Then come back to center. You can stay upright for the last breaths of this posture or come down onto your forearms. Breathe through the intensity. Then beginning to come back up if you were on your forearms. Tuck your right toes. Extend your left leg back. Maybe give it a shake before coming back into your downward facing dog. Then lower your knees down towards the floor. Maybe chest and chin. And then coming up into your upward facing dog. Swaying from side to side before lowering yourself all the way down. Placing your left hand and forearm onto the floor, coming into your half frog pose here. So you're bending into your right knee and bringing your right hand to your right foot. You can choose if you want to stay upright, but you can also fall forward. Just feeling the stretch on the thigh. Don't force any stretch here, but also be curious of where your limits are. Then release your right leg down towards the floor, placing your right forearm into the ground, fingers towards the side, and press yourself up to let your left hand find your left foot. Maybe you stay upright with your abs engaged, drawing your stomach in, or you fall down into a more restorative version, resting your forehead to your palms or onto the mat. And release the left leg down. Bring your hands together under your chin, coming into your crocodile pose. So letting your head rest into the cup of your hands, just to neutralize, relax the entire body here. Letting your head fall heavy. Connect back to your breath if your mind has been wandering. Maybe walk your elbows closer to your body just to see how that makes you feel. And then bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, lift yourself up into a cobra, relaxing down, and then inhaling up, relaxing down, inhaling up one more time, exhaling down, tucking your toes, coming onto all fours, and coming back into your downward facing dog. From here, you can inhale your right leg up towards the sky and exhale your right knee towards your right elbow, right foot towards your left hand, coming into our swan. So your ankle can be somewhere in front of your left hip, flexing your right foot to protect the knee, centering your weight between your hips. You can stay upright here, or you can start folding forward, maybe coming onto your forearms to begin with. You should notice a stretch in your outer hips, your IT band, and your glutes on the bent leg. And you could also notice sensation in the hip flexors of your straight leg. For me, pigeon or swan is a very deep posture. For females especially, it can be very emotional. So have grace with yourself if you're feeling a lot of emotions. Even heavier ones could appear here, as we tend to store them in our hips. All the beautiful quotes I'm finding about yin are by unknown people, but another one that I vibed with was, "In the quietude of yin, we uncover the melodies of our soul." As you stay in this posture for longer, you might feel that your body is opening. The more safe it feels, the more it will respond with more space. If you like, you can lower your hands or your head onto your hands, melting towards the floor. And I encourage you to dare to stay even though it gets very uncomfortable. You might notice that when you really have the urge to leave the pose or move, if you just have the courage to stay in that moment and breathe and see what happens, that the other side might not be so scary. And then you can begin walking your hands back towards your body. Maybe pause for a moment and then tucking your toes and lifting your way back into your downward facing dog. Pedaling it out. And then placing your left foot onto your right heel. Stretching out the entire backside here. And then coming back to center. Inhaling your left leg up towards the sky and exhaling your left knee towards your left elbow, left ankle towards your right hand. Check that your back leg is straight. Flex your left foot. Stay upright if that is where you are at today. If it's accessible to you, you can slowly fold forward. You can also stay upright for a few minutes and then towards the end of the posture you can fold forward and explore that variation. There's nowhere you need to go. Your body is perfect just where it is. We use the postures to come into our body and not the body to come into the postures. The whole purpose of yoga and the physical asanas, which are the poses, is to prepare our body and vessel for meditation. So with that in mind, just see the postures as a purification tool to still the mind so that you can sit in meditation for a longer time. Also have compassion if one side is tighter than the other. It's very normal. We're working a lot on the hips right now, and in our daily life when we're sedentary, we're flexing the hip as we're sitting down. So this posture is kind of a counter action towards that movement, and therefore it can be pretty intense. Don't forget that you can always use your breath as a way to come back to the present moment and anchor yourself if your thoughts are spinning. It's when we stay longer in the poses that we are really tapping into deeper layers beyond our muscles. And it's a beautiful gift. So thank yourself for having that patience and courage to face yourself in that way. It's pretty raw. We're going to stay for a few more moments here. Just soak it all in. Then you can begin placing your hands onto the ground, walking your way back towards center, tucking your back toe, extending your left leg up, shaking it out, pedaling, and then placing your right leg, right foot on your left heel, coming into that stretch. And then pedaling your feet out again, beginning to walk your feet towards your hands, bringing your feet about hip width apart, coming into your ragdoll, placing your hands on your elbows and just swaying from side to side. And just find your center, relaxing the entire upper body, folding from the hips, bending into your knees as much as you need to. You can place your hands at the floor, bringing your feet mat width apart and lowering your hips down into your yogic squat. Elbows towards knees, knees pushing into your elbows. Try to keep your chest lifted, spine straight. Maybe waddle a bit from side to side. Easing your way into this position. Maybe exploring it with full stillness. Then placing your hands behind you, shifting your knees from side to side, some windshield wipers. And then sitting on the center of your mat, bringing out the glutes from underneath you, extending your legs straight, maybe giving them a bit of a shake, inhaling your hands up and exhaling to fold. You can bend into your knees as much as you need to. It's okay to arch the back a bit here. Try to flex your toes. And then use your breath. So you can inhale and feel that you're lengthening the spine. And then exhale to fold deeper. Don't do anything out of integrity towards your own body or your spine. but you're striving to bring your chest towards your thighs. You can gaze forward or you can gaze down. You can gaze towards your toes. Feel that you're folding from the hips, and you can bend into your knees just as much as you need to. You don't want to feel a stretch behind your knee, so avoid any hyperextension. Many of us tend to have pretty stiff hamstrings and calves, so be kind to yourself. It's pretty intense, but it's pretty effectful, and you will quickly notice results if you incorporate a few minutes of this posture here and there in your daily life. And notice as you stay in the pose that you'll be able to access deeper states. If at any point you need to walk your hands back, coming upright again, feel free to do so. We don't want to be rigid. You can also explore bringing a bit of movement into the legs, maybe flexing and pointing the toes, maybe bringing your hands towards your feet. And then beginning walking your hands back towards your body, just sitting upright for a moment, releasing your legs. And we're going to come into our deer pose. So you can try and bring your legs at about a 90-degree angle. You can also fold them in slightly more. And then you just twist around and rotate to the opposite side of the back foot. In this case, you can begin by rotating towards the right. You can come down onto your forearms or stay on your hands and trying to bring your head towards the floor. We're looking for sensations in our hips and our lower back area. For me, I was experiencing quite intense sensations, so I started coming out of the posture here. And I invite you to tune into your body and adjust accordingly. The idea of yin is to tap into our rest and digest nervous system and really calm ourselves down. So it's important that we don't do anything that makes us feel anxious or agitated. You'll also feel sensations in your side body and your back thigh when you're in the twist. If the twisting is too much, you can also come back and just sit upright. And walk your hands back to center. Windshield wipe your knees if you want, or begin coming into the variation on the other side. You can begin just adjusting your legs, left foot towards the center of your body, right foot behind you, and then find an inhale and then exhale to twist. Be aware of your availability in the body. Maybe you can come deeper. Might want to take a cleansing breath here, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth with a sigh. Forward folds are very restorative and they calm us down. We're contracting the chest. It can be effectful if you're having trouble sleeping. Begin coming back towards center, bringing the soles of your feet out in front of you, and then bringing your left foot across your right foot across your left leg, and then bending into your left knee, stacking your knees on top of each other. Or you leave the bottom leg stretched out in front of you, depending on your openness of your hips. You can stay here, placing your hands on your ankles. You can also explore folding forward. Or maybe you want to bring your hands towards a bind behind your back, bending your elbows and letting your hands interlace. Or you can also bring your left hand towards your right elbow. Whatever feels good to you today. So the shoelace is also an intense hip opener. So don't be hard on yourself or judge your body if it's feeling stiff. Stay with the pose even if it's uncomfortable. And then begin coming out of the variation you are in. Untwist your legs. Do what you want to do. Maybe some windshield wipers come in handy here to release the hips. Then extending your right leg and bending your left knee across the right. Your left ankle towards the right hip, and then bending into the right knee, bringing the right foot towards the left hip. Finding your variation with your arms, maybe binding behind you if that's accessible. Or over your head with your right hand towards your left elbow. Or you can also bring both your hands to your elbows. Or join me in folding forward. Staying upright with your hands to your sides or to your ankles is also perfectly fine. Maybe you want to wiggle your neck from side to side. Stay here for a few more moments. Or make any adjustments that you need before coming out, bringing your hands back towards your body, untwisting your legs, extending them out and just giving them a bit of a shake. From here we're going to move towards our saddle. So you can sit back onto your heels, but then try to bring the thighs or the calves out underneath your thighs towards the sides. And you can either sit straight onto your heels or you can bring them out next to you. And maybe you stay there or you begin folding backwards. You can come onto your forearms. Try to keep your knees together as straight as possible. But if you have any kind of knee problems, please don't do this posture. You can just bend one leg at a time back to stretch the right or left thigh. Our knees are very delicate and sensitive, so we don't want to do anything that's causing strain or unnecessary discomfort. If you have the openness, you can fold all the way back, letting your spine touch the floor behind you. You're looking for opening sensations in the quadriceps, hip flexors, belly, chest, and a comfortable compression in the lower back. Once you need to come out, you can come back onto your forearms or all the way up, and then gently come out of the posture one leg at a time. Arriving back, integrating, you can just bend slightly into your knees and just hold yourself here. Maybe releasing any tension. And then transitioning all the way down towards the floor, extending your legs on the mat. Then bending into your right leg. And then guiding your right knee towards the left side of your body, extending your right arm towards the right, gazing over the right shoulder. Feeling the twist from the abdomen. Try to keep your shoulder blades onto the mat. You can place your left hand on top of your right knee for support. You can also place your right knee on a block if you have one. Try to align your right thigh with your hip. We're coming towards the end of our practice. So please begin slowing down your breathing. Begin feeling the relaxation spread throughout your entire body. You can stay here for a little while longer. And bringing your right knee towards your chest, extending your right leg, and placing your hands behind your hamstring and just bending and extending the right leg. Maybe letting it come closer towards your chest. Just explore your range of mobility here. Stretching out the back leg, flexing and pointing your toes. And then releasing the right leg back down towards the mat, then hugging your left knee into your chest. Maybe swaying it slightly side to side. And then begin guiding it over towards your right side of the body, extending your left hand out towards the left and gazing over your left shoulder. Placing your right hand onto your left knee, guiding it towards the floor. And allowing the spine to gently rotate. feeling the softening in the entire body. Relaxing the abdomen and the digestive system. Relaxing the shoulders heavy towards the ground. And then beginning to untwist. Left knee comes back towards center, extending the left foot towards the sky, and then alternating and bending and extending, interlacing your fingers behind your hamstring, using them to pull the leg closer towards your chest. Then release the leg down, bend into both knees, and you can come into your happy baby, bending your knees into your chest. You can take a hold of the inside or outside of your feet. Try to place your ankles directly over your knees. You can also explore by extending one leg at a time, shifting your weight from side to side. Try to flex your heels, pushing your feet into your hands and pulling the hands down to create resistance. Try to keep your tailbone close to the mat. And then release the legs down. Extend your feet about mat width apart. If there is any other posture you would like to do before our final rest, please feel free to do so now. Otherwise, you can let the body become very heavy and melt into your mat. You can tuck your chin slightly toward your chest to lengthen the back of your neck. Take up as much space as you need to here. Palms facing up to receive. Integrate all that energy that this practice has cultivated within you. And then just beginning to relax the entire body, all the way from your toes, ankles, shins, knees, kneecaps, thighs, hips, stomach, all your organs in your torso. Relaxing your shoulders, heavy. Relaxing your arms, your hands, your fingers. Relaxing your throat, your jaw, your mouth, your cheeks, your eyes, your eye sockets, your forehead, the space between your eyebrows, relaxing your entire head, crown, hair, and just feeling your full body relaxed here, like you're floating on a cloud of ease, harmony, and joy. And then let go of everything, your mind, your body, this moment, and just fly away, melting into the experience and consciousness. You can begin to bring awareness back into your body, coming back to the here and now. If you wish to exit the Shavasana and end the class with me, otherwise you can stay for as long as you want to. You can begin introducing some movement into your fingers and your toes. Maybe clasping your hands together, extending your toes, coming into a full body stretch. And then bending into your knees, giving yourself a squeeze, rocking from side to side. And then falling over to one side, into a fetal position, and just resting there for a few moments. And keeping your eyes closed, Begin making your way up to a seated position in the middle of your mat. Relaxing your hands onto your lap or onto your knees. Arriving back here, noticing how you're feeling, maybe a shift in your mental state. Just breathing deeply here. Pausing for a moment to integrate what you just did. And then inhaling your hands up towards the sky and exhale to bring your palms to touch in front of your heart. Thank yourselves for showing up today, and thank you for letting me guide you through this practice.